Hi, everyone, and welcome to those of you who are joining us right now. As you see on your screen, the session will begin at 3 p.m. today. So you have a few minutes before we get started. This is a great opportunity for you to grab a cup of water if you're interested, maybe a coffee, or maybe if you wanted to grab a pen and pencil if you're planning to take any notes. So please feel free to take this opportunity to get settled in, and we will see you shortly.
Ryerson offer a lot of support and a lot of aid to help students like me who play sports and education to help that balance, because it's very hard to balance both sport and education, especially Ryerson offer a lot of support and a lot of aid to help students like me who play sports and education to help that balance, because it's very hard to balance both sport and education, especially a rigorous course like engineering, where you always have to be on top of your work, you always have to be doing assignments, you always have to be doing labs. Ryerson gives us support by giving us those extra tutoring sessions, those extra accommodations, missing exams again or missing labs. We also get to redo them on our time, whenever it's convenient for both the professor and the student. So that support I am grateful for.
Now, I don't know how to not do a bunch of things. I don't know how to sit still and just work and go home. I'm a type of person that loves multitasking and having a lot of things on the go. Working, coaching, writing a kid's book, and having to do marketing on the side. Those are things that, one, bring me joy, and two, I'm able to balance because of what I've learned along the way of making sure that I'm communicating effectively, making sure that I'm scheduling time and carving out time for things that are important, prioritizing the tasks that need to get done. Those are the things and ways that I'm able to do everything I do now, and I'd hope, or I'd say, be somewhat successful at it.
As far as academically, I know that my professors are fully encouraging of me being on the team. Like first semester, for example, I had to figure out when all my midterms would be, and I had to reschedule some because of playoffs. So talking to my profs, everybody had no issue rescheduling. They completely understood. They're very encouraging. I even had professors emailing me and asking me how the games went. So that's one beautiful thing about it. It allows you to get that freedom and really go pursue something that you've always wanted to do while still getting a world-class education.
Throughout the years, I got to find myself within Ryerson. I kept being myself throughout. And that's one thing that really made me happy. The fact that I could keep my authentic self in these environments. And it helped me to, go to my classes with that same mentality. It helped me to write my exams with that same mentality. Get a lot into these different positions. And it made me who I am today, because I am still Femi Lawson, fine boy, no pimples, just dimples, just dimples. You know what I mean?
Ryerson offer a lot of support and a lot of aid to help students like me who play sports and education to help that balance, because it's very hard to balance both sport and education, especially a rigorous course like engineering, where you always have to be on top of your work, you always have to be doing assignments, you always have to be doing labs. Ryerson gives us support by giving us those extra tutoring sessions, those extra accommodations, missing exams again or missing labs. We also get to redo them on our time, whenever it's convenient for both the professor and the student. So that support I am grateful for.
Now, I don't know how to not do a bunch of things. I don't know how to sit still and just work and go home. I'm a type of person that loves multitasking and having a lot of things on the go. Working, coaching, writing a kid's book, and having to do marketing on the side. Those are things that...
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jessica, and I will be facilitating today's session as part of Ryerson's virtual open house, which is taking place this week from September 21st to 25th. There are many sessions taking place all week long, and we encourage you to visit our website to register for any of the sessions that might interest you. I know that today is already Thursday, so maybe some of you are joining us for the second, third, or even fourth time. So thank you again for joining us. For those of you, if this is your first time, please take a look at our calendar for tomorrow as well, as we have some really amazing things coming up. To start, Ryerson has shifted to an essential services model to help spread the COVID-19 pandemic. To help prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. While we have put together some amazing virtual sessions for you, we wanted to make sure that we are sharing the information and connecting with you on a virtual level. Ryerson is working diligently to provide students with fulsome experiences while maintaining the health and safety of our community. I would like to share a few Zoom housekeeping tips before we get started. We encourage you to ask questions. We have a lot of people behind the scenes here today, as well as a lot of people here to support you throughout this, the session. So we encourage you to ask those questions that you might have. To do so, there is a Q&A pod at the bottom of your screen. So simply use your mouse to scroll to the bottom and you will see that Q&A pod. Feel free to click on that and ask any questions throughout the session. Even if we've already passed a certain topic, because we have a lot on the table today, please feel free to go back and ask some of those questions as well. If you're having any audio or visual issues, please feel free to also use that Q&A pod in order to connect with us there as well. And hopefully we can help you through to make sure that you are getting the best out of your session today. You may also arrange your screen in any way that you'd like. Anything that you do to your screen will not affect anyone else's view. You are currently viewing my screen, so anything that I change is what you will all see. Lastly, this presentation will be closed captioned to ensure accessibility. If you require closed captioning, please select that option at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Also note that all of these recordings will be available on our website at the end of October or later on in October. So if you wanted to go back and watch something that you tuned in for, or maybe something that you missed, please feel free to check out our website then. Before we begin, I would also like to take this opportunity right now to release a poll to some of our students because we'd like to see who is joining us today. So what I'm going to do right now is launch this poll, and I'm encouraging you to feel free to answer this as you go. I'll give a few seconds for those of you to answer, so then that way we can get a good idea of who's joining us. Awesome. Awesome. So it looks like we have a lot of students who are currently thinking about applying to a university in 2021. So thank you for joining us. Also students who are looking to apply in the future, and some parents, guardians, and some university and college students. We have a mix of everyone here. So thank you again for joining us. Even though we are currently not on Ryerson's campus, we still feel that it's important to recognize the contributions made by Indigenous peoples to our community. For many Indigenous people, land relates to all aspects of existence, including culture, spirituality, language, law, family, and identity. So to begin today's event, I would like to honor the land in which our university exists through this acknowledgement. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabes, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. So thank you again for joining us today. Now what's going to happen is throughout the presentation, I'm going to be introducing all of our guest speakers. So you'll see me pop up on our screen when it's time to transition between our sessions here. So first up, I would like to introduce Daryl. And before he jumps on, I'm going to show this video as well.
Greetings. My name is Dr. Denise O'Neill Green, and I am Ryerson's Vice President, Equity and Community Inclusion. To those of you who are new to Ryerson, welcome. To those of you returning for another semester, welcome back. While I would have preferred to greet you in person, this video, which I'm recording from my home, will have to do for now. You are now part of the Ryerson family, a richly diverse and dynamic community. Our university has students, faculty, and staff who are new to Canada, and some whose ancestors were the first peoples to inhabit these lands. Our community also includes people who have diverse religious practices and spiritual beliefs, people of all gender identities and expressions, and all sexual orientations, racialized people from a variety of ethnic origins and cultural practices from around the globe, and people who speak many different languages, many with English as an alternative language. Our campus also includes people who experience disability in a variety of ways. The diversity of our community means that there are many ways in which individuals experience the world around us and have different worldviews. At Ryerson, we respect all students, faculty, and staff. We value each and every member of the Ryerson community. So, what do we mean by equity, diversity, and inclusion, or EDI, sometimes it's called, which are among Ryerson's core values? Equity refers to the fair and just treatment of all community members through the creation of opportunities and the removal of barriers to address historic and current disadvantages for underrepresented and marginalized groups. At Ryerson, we work to achieve this through the creation of opportunities, as well as the removal of barriers to address both historic and current disadvantages that underrepresented and marginalized groups face. Diversity refers to valuing and respecting a diversity of knowledges, worldviews, and experiences that come from membership in different groups. Meanwhile, inclusion refers to the equitable, intentional, and ongoing engagement of diversity within every facet of university life. At Ryerson, we all share the responsibility to foster a welcoming, supportive, and respectful environment. And this includes the virtual and in-person classroom, along with outside of the classroom. As a new member of the Ryerson community, I call on you all to embed equity, diversity, and inclusion into your everyday thinking and actions. And if you need support, please remember that my team is available to support you. In particular, if you are a First Nations, Inuit, Métis, Canadian Indigenous student, or a student who identifies by nation or community and seek for academic and writing supports, traditional counseling, financial planning, and more, Aboriginal Student Services is here for you. If you are a student with a disability and require support to address barriers to ensure your full inclusion in the classroom, you can turn to our accessibility unit. At Ryerson, we strive to foster a campus environment free of discrimination and harassment. If you are a student who has a concern based on the prohibited grounds like race, gender, sexual orientation, etc., or if you have a question or belief that you may need to file a complaint, the Human Rights Services team can help. You can also reach out to us for diversity data, which provides information about the representation and retention of students, staff, and faculty from the university's 5 equity-seeking groups, including women, Aboriginal peoples, racialized people, persons with disabilities, and 2S LGBTQ people. If you need support to have a difficult conversation across campus, including in and out of the classroom, you can reach out to our Equity Awareness and Outreach Unit. We also host free events on a variety of topics related to EDI, equity, diversity, and inclusion throughout the year. To reach us, just email equity@ryerson.ca. You can also follow us on Twitter at RyersonECI, or learn more about us on our website, ryerson.ca/EDI. www.ryerson.edu/equity. If you need to find our website easily, navigate to the homepage of the Ryerson website and you'll find our name in the top navigation. There you will learn more about free educational training, opportunities we offer, including events throughout the year. Again, on behalf of my team, I want to welcome you to Ryerson. I wish you a safe, productive, and positive term. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. And Chimigwech.
Awesome. As I transition back into our slides here, I would like to invite Daryl Boyden, the Director of Equity and Community Inclusion within the Office of the Vice President, to come on screen here to give us a little bit more information. And bear with me for a couple of seconds here. Oh.
No, that's not me.
Now we're good. Sorry, it takes a couple seconds to get back out of that full screen. You're good to go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Please, at any time, shout out, let me know if there's any questions. I'm not going to say too much more than what Dr. Green has said about the services we offer. I think what's important for students and thinking about coming to Ryerson is what are some of the ways that we engage with students? What are some of the ways that we reach out to you? Dr. Green mentioned a number of free events. A couple of our events are our Soup and Substance program. Yes, it's real soup. When we're on campus, we're in that space where we can come together. We actually serve soup and we have some great dialogues. We bring together folks from across the campus to engage in topics that, you know, are hot topics and interesting topics to the campus and to students as a way of being able to really bring about change and start to bring about understanding of what difference is, what difference looks like, and how we all can just get along just by being ourselves. Our soups cover topics everywhere from, you know, is race and racism something that's difficult for Canadians to talk about, to language around different use of pronouns for how folks are identifying. We take a look at women in leadership. So we have a wide variety of those sorts of activities that take place. A lot of these are actually housed on our RICAST channel as well. So there's spaces where students can go and actually look at the material after the fact. A couple of the other ones that we do, the Dine and Discourse program, again, very much the same idea where we actually bring the community together for lunch and have a real conversation about particular issues that might be facing the campus. We've done conversations in this area where we take a look at things like white fragility and the element of white supremacy and how it operates in society and how we all benefit from it. We've had conversations on intergroup dialogues, bringing folks together from different spaces, different places to actually engage with each other around, while you're at Ryerson, you are a Ryerson student through and through. When you leave the campus, we can't control what happens, but we want you to feel that at Ryerson, you can just be yourself. So as you walk into the campus and you identify in whatever way you identify, we want you to know that you're accepted for who you are. Some of the other things that we do on campus are recognition activities. We have two major activities that we run through the year. One is the Viola Desmond Day Award Ceremony. This is in honor and celebration of our Canadian icon who is now on your $10 bill. Viola Desmond was a Black woman who in 1946 went to a theater in my hometown, so in Glasgow, Nova Scotia. She was in the theater and sat in the wrong seats and basically was told that as a Black woman, she couldn't sit in those seats. So she was thrown out of the theater, she was jailed, all sorts of history went along with that. What we found was there was a bit of an erasure of Black women from history. So what we've done is with the Viola Desmond celebration is we are just doing that. We're celebrating Black women in a way that we don't tend to do in our Canadian history books or in other kinds of ways. So each year we give out 5 awards, one for a faculty member, staff member, a Ryerson student, alumni, and a high school student thinking about coming to university. So some of you listening, listen up. You might be one of the folks that we'll be talking to. It's an opportunity for us to actually really showcase who are some Black women that helped build Canada and help create the space that we're all in. One of the other events that we have is the Alan Shepard Awards. Alan Shepard was a former vice provost at Ryerson, and this award ceremony takes a look at how does equity, diversity, and inclusion get played out in other spaces. So not just the usual suspects, not just the places that we normally think folks with equity minds are going to be, but in other locations as well. So in STEM programs, in urban planning, we've had someone receive an award. So a variety of different ways in which folks can be engaged and can actually be involved with the campus. Lastly, I think something that's really important for a lot of students is the element of some extra funding. We have scholarships and bursaries that you can apply for as well. So it's another way of you being able to connect, because you know sometimes it's difficult and you want to navigate space. A few extra dollars in your pocket isn't going to hurt too much. So we have bursaries in the name of Viola Desmond. We have in the name of Akua Benjamin, who was one of our first Black female social work profs. We have just a variety. You'll find all about the awards through the Award Spring Network, and I'm sure you'll learn about those things as you're thinking of coming this way as well. And then, I mean, overall, we're involved in everything on campus. We get to engage in ways that reach out and we consult with every area of the campus. So I think one of the things that I always try to point out to students is, mom and dad taught you to treat people the way you want to be treated. Well, at Ryerson, we're teaching you to treat people the way they want to be treated. And the only way we can actually get you there is by engaging you in some conversation with people. And that's what our role, our environment is all about. So whether it's through the Human Rights Office, through the Accessibility Office, through the Aboriginal Initiatives area, through the data collection folks in terms of the information that they share, through one of my areas, the Education and Awareness Unit, we're here to actually help bring to the campus all the diversity, all that makes you you. One of the things that I live by in terms of my sort of tagline, if you want to find out about me, is I say I'm not different from any of you, but I'm different like all of you. So it's a chance for us to really start to look at the fact that we're unique, but we have a lot of similarities at the same time. And at Ryerson, that's what we're celebrating. It's the fact that as much difference as there is, there's a lot of similarities. We just have to figure out ways that we can all be together in the space. So I'm available for questions if you have any questions that you had. Otherwise, I'll let you get on with your day.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Daryl. And I truly encourage everyone, if you have some questions, please feel free to pop them in our Q&A chat. And I know Daryl will be more than happy to answer some of those for you. Next up, I would like to introduce Andrew, who is our Manager of Student Life and Campus Engagement. Feel free to take it away.
Cool. Hey, everyone. So my name is Andrew. I'm the Manager of Student Life and Campus Engagement, as Jessica mentioned. I'll be going through some of the programs that we offer, some of the programs and services and resources that are available to all Ryerson students once they enter Ryerson. So if we go on to the next slide. The first group I'll chat about is the Tri-Mentoring Program. And so what is the Tri-Mentoring Program? The mission statement is to mentor the whole student to find their sense of belonging on campus through their individual experiences. And so how do we do that? If we go on to the next slide, we do that through peer-to-peer mentoring and career mentoring. And so what that means is we will pair all incoming students or incoming students that have signed up with the program with an upper year student in their program and that match similar demographics for that upper year student to guide them through what their first year might look like. So what that might mean is potentially looking at textbooks, when would be those peaks and valleys of their term, what some courses might look like and how difficult they may be, or what resources and tools they might need to progress through. All of the mentors complete a mandatory mentoring training, and then they receive a certificate once they're complete. And so into your second, third, fourth year, you could then become a mentor for an incoming student. The second piece of the mentoring is the career mentoring. And so once you reach your third or fourth year, what the Tri-Mentoring Program will do is then connect you with a career professional in the industry that you want to be in, for them to provide that same support for you as you start to enter into the field. And so what this might look like is help on the resume, potentially some networking skills, really trying to identify what it is that you've learned on campus and how you could use all of that, all of those tools, all of those resources to then help you land your dream career, your dream job. The last mentoring session is the group mentoring. And so we've identified so far 10 equity seeking groups that we provide group mentoring sessions for. And so these groups will meet once a month. And so you'll see the 10 groups that are there. And what it is really is for all of these students to build a sense of community with people that are like them. And so Muslim students, Latinx students, LGBTQ 2+ students, mature students, so on. We're constantly adding new groups. And this is a way for us to build a sense of community amongst those students, to have them really talk about the challenges, what they're seeing on the ground, success stories, really trying to build that relationship. Next up, I'll chat about international student support. And so some of the programs within ISS are built around social and things that will connect international students with other international students with domestic students. And so there are peer socials, Let's Talk series, which delve into really specific topics. It could be orientation, money, academics, but really bringing students together with professionals to chat about specific areas of their lives. Some of the other supports that are available, so newcomer and family support. Sorry, if you go back to the previous slide. So the newcomer and family support program, support for graduate students. There are financial supports as well. And so Daryl chatted a little bit about the ones that are available through the ECI office. There are scholarships, awards, emergency bursaries that are available through ISS. And then we also are a member within the World University Service of Canada that works to bring 1 or 2 refugee students over to Canada to learn and study. We go on to the next slide now. When we think about immigration support, so some of those supports might be done on a group in a group setting, and so really looking at what's needed to study in Canada, and then how you can go about getting status letters. We can do that through the group appointments. We could do that through drop-in appointments and one-on-one appointments as well. And then last up is this office will support the university health insurance plan. And so it's similar to OHIP. And what we'll do is give you the coverage card that you'll need to get coverage in Canada. We'll provide information sessions so that you know what's included and what's not included, and then any adjustments to enrollment. And so there are specific requirements on how many courses you need to be taking on campus. And so we'll be able to provide all of that information to ensure that you have all of the support that you need from both a university perspective and a government perspective as well. And then when we go into learning support, so how do we support incoming students? And so we do have a lot of programs for first-year students, English language practice, and that could be writing, speaking, listening, reading, math, study, and writing skills as well. And so if you're having trouble in one of these areas, there are weekly workshops, there are group sessions, there are one-on-one appointments that can be utilized to help you build your competency in all of those areas. And then specifically for first-year students, if we go into the next slide, we have the Get Ryerson Ready program, which was developed and launched this year. And what that was a 2-month pre-orientation program that had over 100 events and really aimed to get students transitioned into Ryerson, but really thinking about the academic needs and transitional needs that they would have as they navigate from high school to university. And so we broke those out into a bunch of different areas. So community, math, writing, study, and health and wellness. And we worked across campus to make sure that students were prepared for the semester ahead. Academic Edge is a 5-week learning program that essentially takes you through what you would need to be successful in your academics. So it looks at math, writing, study skills, research, all of those things, so that when you're done the program, that you're comfortable in the learning environment, that you know how to research properly, that you know how to write an essay, and you're ready to tackle all of the assignments as they come up. As well, in learning support, there are supported learning groups. So these are groups of students that are facilitated by a mentor that has gone through these programs and have achieved high marks. And so these are available for the faculties of engineering, science, and math, arts, faculty of arts. And so if there are specific courses in these faculties where you need support, there are supporting learning groups for you to take advantage of. And then math proficiency tests are the last thing that we do. And so looking into student life and campus engagement, there's a lot of stuff that we do in our program. So this is the portfolio that I oversee. So some of the key programs, so Orientation Week, which this year happened over 2 weeks, had over 400 events as a campus, and really is there to help you transition into Ryerson. Coming out of Orientation Week, the first 6 weeks program, and so this year we've expanded that as well. So it's actually the first 12 weeks, and it's all events that are designed to help you transition and build your competencies in academic writing, academic math, all of those things, because it is a step up from what you would find in high school. The Student Initiatives Fund awards over $300,000 to student-led initiatives each year. And so if you have an idea for an event or an initiative you want to run on campus, there is money available for you to do that. The Student Action Series and Interfaith are 2 new programs, and what we really want to push forward with these are really support for any advocacy, human rights work, social justice work that our students want to do, but also any supports that they would need around faith, religion, and spirituality. And then the last piece is our campus events. And so we hold a lot of fairs, street festivals, things like that when we were on campus. Even though we're online, we're still hosting a ton of events practically every week. And then when we look at our leadership program, so we do have the Leaders of Tomorrow peer coaching program. So similar to TMP, you'll be matched with a coaching mentor and guided through what your leadership journey might look like. And so talking about goals, your experience, how to articulate those on a resume, how to find volunteer opportunities, which brings me to the next point. So volunteer link and community field trips, really trying to connect all of our students with community organizations on campus, departments that are looking for volunteers. The Level Up Co-Curricular Record program is our co-curricular record. And so we're looking at what are you gaining through all of those experiences, and then how are you articulating that in a resume, in an interview, so that you're able to land that dream job. The Leadership Journey is a set of leadership workshops. And so it looks at cooperation and teamwork, communication, EDI, a lot of different topics, really honing in on what the leadership skills are that you want to develop, and then finding you different workshops and services that are available that can help you reach those goals. And then the last one, you'll see the photo there, is our RU Therapy Dogs program. It happens weekly, even virtually, where we bring volunteers in with their dogs, and students are able to pet them for an hour or so. Lastly, I'll chat about the Career and Co-op Center. And so the mission and vision of the Career and Co-op Center is really to build careers for life. And so their vision is to empower all Ryerson students to maximize their potential as skilled professionals ready to develop meaningful careers. And so how do we do that? They're dedicated towards career support in the faculty. If you move into the next slide, please. And so they do that by supporting all of the faculties through career advising, industry engagement. There are over 1,000 on-campus jobs that are available for both domestic and international students that are available through the Career Boost program, which is similar to like a regular work study program. And then they also run class delivery. They deliver sessions in class. They host events in person and online that focus on skill development, career planning, and assessments. And so if you go into the next slide, you'll see some of the events that we've run in the past through the Career and Co-op Center. So career development workshops, resumes and cover letters, how to search for jobs, how to do a mock interview, and really understanding what your employment rights are. They do one-on-one appointments to achieve all of these goals. There are employer events, so things like career fairs, networking events. They'll bring in employers and then have those employers talk directly to students about what their needs are, what they're looking for out of potential candidates. And then we do have a job search resource as well, which is Magnet, and then the Career Compass as well. And so that's a really brief overview of what we do in student affairs. And yeah, happy to answer any questions as they come up. Thank you.
Thank you again, Andrew. I truly appreciate that. And as you said, it's kind of a lot of information to take in. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to use that Q&A pod. And reminder that this is being recorded and you'll be able to check this out later on in October as well too, if you happen to miss anything. But it's clear that we definitely have something for everyone, especially within our student affairs department. So the next thing that we are going to transition to is talking a little bit about residents. So what's going to be happening now is I will be asking Emma and Trishana to join us here to kind of talk a little bit about their experience with Ryerson residents.
Hey guys, I'm Emma and Trishana is also here. I think she has a camera on.
Hi everyone.
So we're going to talk to you a bit about residents and what our experience has been like. So to start off, we have our 3 buildings in Ryerson residence, which is the Daphne Cockwell Complex, the International Living and Learning Center, and Pittman Hall. For more specific details on all of those buildings, you can visit the Ryerson Housing website. Next slide, please. Yeah, so to introduce myself, I'm Emma. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm in my 3rd year of the journalism program at Ryerson. I've been a residence ambassador with residence recruitment team for the past 2 years. And I've lived in a lot of the buildings. I've lived in all of them at some point or another. So I have lots of experience with all of the buildings. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm just going to talk to you about some of the great things that come out of living in residence. So in my experience, I think that one of the really great things about residence is that your proximity to campus gives you a lot of opportunities to get involved in student groups and student life on campus, which can really help you in getting involved in student leadership. You can easily get to and from meetings for student group events, and that makes it really easy for you to get involved. In residence, there are also a lot of opportunities to get involved in student leadership as well. For example, Residence Council holds elections for a floor president every year. I was my floor president in my 1st year, and it was an amazing opportunity. You get to work in a team of a lot of people who also have similar interests to you, and that's always really fun. And you get to plan a lot of events for your residence community as well. And the other really great thing about residence is the community that you build while you live here. People I met in my 1st year are still the people that I'm closest to today. And I probably would have never met them if it wasn't for residence. Like my best friend is in finance and I'm in journalism. So we would have never met if it hadn't been for residence and we hadn't lived across the hall from each other. So the community that you build and the support that you get from that is a really huge role of what's really great about Ryerson residents. Next slide.
Hi everyone, I'm Trishana. I'm a 4th year student currently in marketing management, and I've been a member of the Housing and Residence Live team at Ryerson for the past 3.5 years. I came here as an international student, and actually the first time I ever saw residents in person was on my move-in day in August of 2017. I wasn't able to do a tour before this. So I completely understand where a lot of you may be coming from in that you're very much interested in our living space, but you're unable to do an in-person tour to really see what it's like. So yeah. First year student living in residence, there are many opportunities for you to get involved in the community and bond with your peers. In fact, I became a student leader while I was in my 1st year when I joined the resident recruitment team, and that allowed me to form relationships not only with people in my building and on my floor, but with the students throughout each of our residences. And the most memorable experiences I had from my 1st year was actually working my first open house, giving my first residence tour, and doing the CN Tower climb with my floor. So I've actually had the opportunity to live in all of our residence buildings as well, just like Emma. So I really hope everything works out for all of you so you get to experience our campus life soon. That's it.
Yeah, so just an overview of some of the benefits that come from living in residence. You get a sense of independence. So you get that independence that you get from living on your own, but you still have the supports of your residence advisors, which are there for your kind of like emotional well-being. And you also have the support of an academic link, which is kind of like a live-in tutor is the best way I've seen it, how to describe it. So while you're being independent, you still have supports there for you. You also have like a sense of organization from living on your own. You get to make connections with your peers, and you also just get to have unbelievable experiences. Residence is right in the heart of downtown, and there's tons of things to do here that you get to do with your community. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome, and thank you to Emma and Trishana for coming here and telling us a little bit about residence. I know as a former student, I also lived in residence in my first year of school, so I can speak to a lot. I was living in Pittman Hall at the time a few years ago, so I'll date myself a little bit there, but I know from experience that everything that they talked about is definitely true, and the independence is great, but there's also those connections as well to make sure that you're staying on top of your schoolwork and still getting everything done too. Next up, we have some more students here who are going to be joining us from the Ryerson Student Learning Center. So I would encourage Nikki and Ara to please unmute yourselves. I think I already see you on camera, which is great, but feel free to take over from here.
Hi everyone, my name is Ira. I'm currently in third year of marketing and I am a SLC student specialist.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikki and I am a fifth year medical physics co-op student, and I'm also a student specialist at the SLC. So I believe we're actually going to start our conversation here with a poll. So if you can vote in the poll, first, that will be what kind of study environment you prefer. So the answers will be either quiet or focused, casual or relaxed, bright and sunny, or group-oriented and enthusiastic. And we'll just give you a minute there and then we'll start with a video. All right, that's awesome. Okay. All right, thank you so much for the video. So we're just going to give you a brief introduction of what the SLC is. So the SLC, the Student Learning Center, is a world-class learning destination where students can study, collaborate, and invent. The team that operates the SLC is called the Student Engagement and Leadership Team. They have stated our first principle as meeting the needs of the students. Our team has a predominantly student staff core supported by a key full-time staff. This model ensures that the integration of students into the heart of the SLC, empowering student-centric ideas and decisions.
To the next slide, we'll have the Q&A portion. Nikki, what is the SLC?
So the SLC is a building designed to meet the needs of the students as they study at Ryerson. It features 8 floors of unique study space developed based on the input of hundreds of students. Each floor provides a slightly different type of study space experience just to find the environment perfect for you. And Ira, I have a question for you as well. So can we visit the SLC right now?
As safe as possible for current students, we have decided for the September semester that we won't be hosting tours or accepting drop-ins. However, our website, ryerson.ca/SLC, has a section called Virtual SLC, where you can take a sneak peek inside the building, and our Instagram, @RyersonSLC, has a highlight called Open House that basically walks you through what is available regularly on all the floors. So Nikki, what is the SLC offering during COVID?
So we're still open at a reduced capacity. While home is the best and the first option, we understand that your online classes and studying can be difficult at home with distractions or unreliable Wi-Fi, and our team wanted to create a space for those students who need it. We have worked hard to reopen in a way that's safe for the Ryerson community. We are open to only Ryerson students using the reservation system for students to book desks on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 8th floors of the SLC. Masks and physical distancing are in place while the building and our booking system allows for contact tracing and a limited building capacity. We also have a section on our website called Our SLC at Home. You can connect directly to this page using the link in our Instagram bio. Our Instagram is at Ryerson SLC. Give us a follow. And Our SLC at Home is a section of our site full of resources for students working from home. So if you're looking for some tips, support, or helpful apps, you should totally check this out. And Ira, so what does the SLC offer usually?
We are a hub on campus for students to gather, study, connect, and innovate. On top of the study space we provide, we also host events, provide tabling, and give tours. When we aren't in the middle of a pandemic, our first floor, called the Valley, is used as an event space. In the Valley is what we call our amphitheater. It's a large, open space with tiered seating that can be booked by students, faculty, and staff to host events. We have had students host jam sessions, a paint night, pop-up shops, an art exhibition, and even fashion shows. If students are looking to host something more simple, we also host what are called tabling, perfect for small bake sales, providing students with information about a student group you're part of, or promoting a student event. We also lead tours through our building. We love inviting people into our awesome space, whether they're prospective students, architects, or representatives from universities around the world.
So if you want to join the team, the Student Engagement and Leadership, the SEAL team, is a dedicated group of student staff and full-time staff that work together to operate the SLC. The team has a predominantly student staff core, which is supported by a smaller team of key full-time staff. This ensures the integration of students into the heart of the SLC, empowering student-centric ideas and decisions. The SLC hires Ryerson students at the start of every semester. Job postings can be found through the Ryerson Career Boost portal, which can be accessed as soon as you get your Ryerson email login. Working at the SLC is honestly like gaining a really large, diverse family. It's a great way to meet Ryerson students from different programs, gain work experience and skills, and connect with the Ryerson community. Thank you so much for listening and considering Ryerson for your future. If you have any other questions or want a sneak peek inside of the SLC, you can check out our Instagram at Ryerson SLC or our website, ryerson.ca/SLC. Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you so much, Nikki and Ira. I really appreciate you taking the time to paint a picture of what it's like at the Student Learning Center, also known as the SLC. So next up, we do have athletics. So I am encouraging Nicole here to come on now to talk a little bit about athletics and recreation. Now, another quick fun fact about myself is not only was I a student of Ryerson, I was also a former varsity women's hockey player. So I'm really excited to hear a little bit more for everyone about athletics and recreation. So Nicole, go ahead and take it away.
Amazing. Thank you, Jessica. So as she mentioned, my name is Nicole, and I'm going to be presenting on behalf of Athletics and Recreation. So I am in my final year of the Nutrition and Food program at Ryerson, and I also work in the Customer Service and Outreach Unit in the department, which oversees the daily operations of the Rack and Mac service desks, which we're going to learn a little bit more about in just a minute. And we are also involved with outreach initiatives on campus, such as first-year orientation. Our mission in athletics and recreation is to champion a spirit of belonging, pride, and excellence, which enriches the academic experience and develops the whole student. We focus on health and well-being, student experience, and engagement in our spaces. Ryerson Recreation helps you integrate movement into your regular routine. Why? Regular physical activity benefits your academic and work performance, your individual well-being, and it helps you make connections to others in our community. It might feel difficult at first, but finding ways to dedicate time to fitness and health helps you be more creative, think more clearly, reduce stress, study better, and maintain positive relationships. In our 2 fitness facilities, the Recreation and Athletic Center, which is also known as the RAC, and the Mattamy Athletic Center, which is also known as the MAC, as well as through initiatives across campus, we strive to provide safe and inclusive spaces for you to move in a diversity of ways. In athletics and recreation, we have something for everyone. We want you to get involved. We want to see you in our spaces participating in our programs. And how can you do that? By utilizing your membership, which is included in your tuition, as an undergraduate or graduate student. Our focus on health and well-being and their relationship to academic performance embodies our mission in athletics and recreation to develop the whole student and enrich the student experience. Maple Leaf Gardens opened in 1931, and it was home to the Toronto Maple Leafs until it closed in 1999. It opened as the Mattamy Athletic Center in 2012, and it shares the space with Loblaws on the first floor. The second and third floors hold our 2-court gymnasium, fitness center, studio, and arena. The MAC is the hub for our varsity home games, which can be attended for free with your One Card, which is also your student card. The MAC reopened to our Ryerson students on August 10th, and it is roughly a 7-minute walk north of campus at the corner of Carleton Street and Church Street. Our other facility, the RAC, can be found right in the middle of campus under the Kerr Hall Quad. The main entrance is at the south end of the quad, but it can be accessed through different buildings throughout campus because it's in the middle of our indoor path connecting the Rogers Communication Center to the Student Learning Center. The RAC opened in October of 1987, and it is our main recreation hub, housing 2 gymnasiums, a fitness center, cardio gallery, indoor track, 2 dance studios, squash courts, and even a 25-yard pool. We also have 2 Kerr Hall gymnasiums, which are known as the upper and lower gyms, and they are located in Kerr Hall West. These are the location for drop-in recreation and intramural programs. The RAC is not currently open to students or members yet, but we are making strides to have it reopened in the near future. So as you'll see on screen, this is just to give you an idea of where we're located on campus. So the MAC is towards the top of the image, slightly north of campus, while the RAC is located right in the heart of campus as outlined. Things are going to look a little bit different this year than they have in previous years. When Toronto moved into stage 3 of the Ontario government's reopening plan, Ryerson Athletics and Recreation began to safely reopen our sport and fitness facilities, which started with the MAC, which opened on August 10th. We were the first school in Ontario to open up our rec center, and we have done so for about a month. And you might be wondering what reopening has looked like. The safety of our students, members, and staff is always our first priority, and we have undertaken an extensive review and redesign of our spaces and operations to meet public health guidelines and emerging industry best practices in response to COVID-19. In the first phase of our reopening, Ryerson students are given priority access to our facilities in support of their well-being and academic efforts. Students are able to pre-reserve workout time slots once per day, and slots are available in 75 and 90-minute increments throughout the day, with a 30-minute cleaning period between time slots. Time slots can be booked up to 6 days in advance. Our current facility hours are Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 9:45 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. There are no walk-ins available, meaning all time slots have to be reserved in advance. You can do so by signing in to our recreation portal on our website using your my.ryerson login. Now, since we've reopened, we have continued to improve our spaces by increasing the number of time slots available in a day, the number of participants in a time slot, and we have also opened up rec basketball. While COVID has brought other schools to a halt, our staff are working with renovations to the RAC, and changes continue to take place. As mentioned, we are working hard to reopen our second facility, which is the RAC, and we are a short time away benefit from having the pool reopen. We know that not everyone is ready or able to join us in person at Ryerson or otherwise, but the importance of regular physical activity and a sense of community connection are critical to our well-being and academic success. Whether through live classes with us, pre-recorded content from elsewhere, esports, or Zoom meetups, join us and move. All programs are freely available to all Ryerson students. Our live and on-demand group fitness classes are going to continue for the foreseeable future. A selection of our group strength and cardio classes will be offered virtually on our Instagram Live at RECREATION. If you loved or missed one of the live classes, be sure to check out our IGTV for recordings post-class and have another go whenever you feel the need to move. We will have links to pre-recorded on-demand options coming soon. Stay tuned to ryerson.ca/recreation and at RECreation social channels for ways to keep you moving, connected, feeling, and thinking your best this fall. Whether looking to get active with us at Ryerson, connect with our community remotely in your neighborhood, or joining us online in our live and on-demand group fitness options, we're here to help you move everywhere. Now more than ever, we need the physical and mental health benefits of moving our bodies, and as long as you're moving, it doesn't matter how. Put your body in motion, feel your heartbeat faster, and you can't help but be healthier, feel better, and think clearer. Improved immune function and elevated mood are just some of the benefits of regular physical activity. And add improved sleep and digestion, increased energy and self-confidence, and moving your body can be a powerful coping strategy during this difficult time. And of course, for all of us studying and working, getting active is a clear path to a clear mind, whether it's a 5-minute walk, a set of push-ups and squats, or a 30-minute dance cardio class. Moving your body improves cognition, focus, and stamina. For more information on Move Everywhere, visit us online at ryerson.ca/recreation. Now, if you're looking to get into something a little bit more structured and ongoing, our program offerings are great options. We have 2 types, which are recreational or competitive clubs. We are onboarding our clubs carefully, with 3 currently running and an additional 6 expected in the next few weeks. Recreational clubs welcome all levels and all abilities in a fun learning environment with the Ryerson community. They focus on increasing participation, providing instruction, and creating a social network of individuals within the Ryerson community based on a shared interest in sport. Recreation clubs include archery, badminton, karate, Quidditch, and trampoline. All levels and all abilities are welcome. At this time, our recreation clubs have not yet resumed, but they are expected to in due course. Competitive clubs focus on preparation and participation in competition against other post-secondary or adult teams and clubs in an exhibition schedule or organized league. Competitive clubs have tryouts and regular practices. The clubs that have intent to resume practice and training, not yet competition, are dance pack, ultimate frisbee, rugby, baseball, fast pitch, dragon boat, and track and field. Esports has resumed both practice and competition, and there are many more to come. Lastly, I'd like to touch on our employment opportunities. The Athletics and Recreation Department is one of, if not the largest student employer on campus. Our department has many different units with employment opportunities, and all positions will be posted through the Ryerson Career Boost website. As I mentioned, I am a student employee in the Customer Service and Outreach Unit, so I got hired in my 2nd year of university and have stuck around ever since. Since I've started, I've been able to really engage in my role and work on some really valuable projects, which has helped me see that my role is way more than just a part-time job. I've built strong professional relationships, I have met some of my best friends while working here, and I've been able to build a variety of valuable professional skills. My experience working here has been really special and really rewarding to me. I hope we all gained some valuable insight into our Athletics and Recreation Department, and feel free to visit us online at ryersonrams.ca or email us at recreation@ryerson.ca and we will be in touch. You can also check out our social media accounts on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Our handle is @RURecreation. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole. Special shout out to all of our speakers so far, including our students who are crushing it with their presentations. So thank you for everyone who's stuck around. I encourage you to continue asking questions throughout this next little bit here. Last but not least, we are going to turn things over to zone learning. So I would encourage Taylor here to take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Jessica. Hi, my name is Taylor. I am a ProCom student in FCAD, so the Faculty of Communication Design here at Ryerson. I'm in my 4th year, and something kind of funny is that I actually really did not want to go to Toronto or stay in Toronto and go to Ryerson because I went to an arts high school here and I just wanted to get out of the city and be somewhere else. But last minute, my parents had said, either you stay in Toronto or we're not going to pay your tuition. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to stay here. But it ended up being for the best because as soon as I got to Ryerson, I saw that there was a community and so many different types of communities that I could be involved with, and everyone was so welcoming, and there were so many different supports for students. And I definitely don't think that I would be where I'm at right now if I didn't go to Ryerson. So with that, level up your learning. So zone learning, what is zone learning? It is an out of classroom experience that prepares students for the 21st century working place. So what that pretty much means is that zone learning is just like experience and practice-based learning. A really good example / metaphor for this would be the next slide, which is all about incubation and startups. So if you look at a greenhouse, everything is different, but all of the plants require the same things to grow. So that's soil, fertilizer, and water. But all of the plants are different. All the plants look different, they smell different, and they all kind of interact with each other in different sorts of ways. And in simpler terms, that's kind of what zone learning does, and that we give people the soil, which is like the mentorship, the workspaces, and the foundation to grow, but everyone grows at different rates and everyone kind of comes in at different spots, right? Next slide, thank you. So there are 5 constants that Ryerson Zone Learning has. That would be incubation, mentorship, workspaces, and skills training, and network. So incubation, as I said, comes in the form that we kind of take people in and help them grow their ideas. They might be at a spot where you come in and you're just like, okay, I don't really know that much about presentations. So maybe I want to learn how to pitch more. Or maybe I come in and I have an idea and I'm like ready to be like the head of my own company and all that. People come in at different levels, and we're happy to help them and mentor them in those ways. So mentorship comes in the people that are already in the zones as well. So those are the contributors that we have and people that we have that are willing to speak. Ryerson, not Ryerson, but Zone Learning, we have a lot of different spaces and a lot of different people in our spaces. We have people from CBC, people that have worked at Google, that are just in our spaces, hanging out, working on their own projects and mentoring other people. That leads me to our workspaces. So every workspace is different. The workspace that someone in the biomedical zone needs would be different to someone that is in the design fabrication zone. Someone might need a sewing machine, another person might need a beaker, and we provide those spaces. Obviously, it's a little bit different because we're in a pandemic, but we have some interesting virtual spaces around for everyone as well. Skills training comes in, skills training comes in the different workshops that we do have. So yeah, we have workspaces, but we also have different boot camps, we have pitching competitions, we have hackathons, and those are kind of ways where people are able to learn new skills and get better at the skills that they already have. And then through these sort of spaces, people are also fostering a network of support and community for themselves. Next slide, thanks. So this is kind of like our 10 zones, and we put it on this sort of linear scale to help visualize what is later stage and earlier stage. The goal of all of the zones is not to all become part of the later stage. Some things we want to stay in like the early ideation side of things. So we have the DMZ, the biomedical zone, legal innovation zone, fashion zone, the transmedia zone, the clean energy zone, the design fabrication zone, iBoost, social ventures, and science discovery. So the ones, as I said, towards the earlier stage, that's where people are able to kind of come in, not really have an idea yet, and really just kind of grow a community. And all of these zones are like, you're able to move in and out of them. If I start off in the science discovery zone, but I develop my idea even more, and now I can move to the fashion zone or the clean energy zone, we allow for that sort of movement to happen. And then with these zones, there's also a credit program at Ryerson where you're able to get this experience-based learning and work with these zones and get a credit. Thank you. So I just want to graduate and get a job. At the end of the day, that's why you go to university. But it's not just about going to school and then getting a job. There's a lot of stuff that happens in between. And for many people, you don't just graduate and get a job right off the bat. First, you have to make some mistakes and get some experience. And zone learning is a place where you're able to do that. Next slide, please. So you don't need to be an entrepreneur. That's something that we're really trying to hammer in this year. I think that when people hear the word entrepreneur, they get a little bit intimidated and say, I don't want to be on Dragon's Den. That's not really for me. But it's less about being an entrepreneur in the traditional sense and more about being an entrepreneur in the theoretical sense. So that's having really good leadership skills, curiosity, collaboration, self-awareness, risk assessment. And these are skills that not every program teaches. If I am in bioengineering, how many opportunities do I have to communicate and do presentations and those field of things? Zone learning provides a space where you're able to learn more of the practicality of what your job may entail in the future, or maybe even something you haven't thought that would be a part of your job in that way. Next slide. Yeah, so there are 3 different types of community members, or different types of memberships that we have at Zone Learning. I mentioned this briefly in the other slide, but there are our community members. So those are people that attend events, learn new skills, come to competitions, and meet new people. Then we have our contributors. So those are employees, interns, associates, apprentices, and consultants. And then there are creators. So those are the people that come in and say, I have an idea, I want to lead this project and do all of this fun stuff. And by all means, all of these roles are kind of fluid within our ecosystem. So there are some people that might be a community member in one zone, but a creator in another, and then a contributor in another one. You're not bound to one sort of type of membership by any means. You can be all 3. Next slide. Thanks. So these are just some fun numbers that we have. I might kind of breeze through them because I know that we are getting a little bit to time and screen fatigue does happen. So we have 450 startups. I don't know if anyone's heard of Inkbox or Majuri, but those are just a few names of some of the startups that started in Zone Learning. So 450 startups last year, over 2,500 members last year. Over 40% are female members. So those are just some numbers that we're really proud of. Female leadership is very important, and also non-binary. 4,000 plus jobs created. So again, when you do go into a zone and you start a business, you are making jobs, and you're also able to pay people, which is something that we're really proud of as well. And over $700 million in funding raised. Yeah, so these are just some more specific ways of how you can benefit from being involved with Zone Learning. So as I said, you can walk in and have an idea and launch a startup. You can pursue a passion. That could be even something that isn't a business, something that can even clearly have a beginning, middle, and end, like you want to make something specific that changes a cause. If it has a clear beginning, middle, and end, and it's just a project, you're also able to do that. There was a King Street West project that had happened, and the design fabrication zone at Ryerson was actually very involved with that. That's when they closed off all of King Street, and there were just a bunch of art projects there. So that was something that had a very clear beginning, middle, and end, and those are some life cycles that we also see within the zones. Create real change. So there are some businesses that have started in zone learning that are all about sustainability and making sure that whatever we eat is kind of coming back around. And Ryerson provides a unique space for that with our rooftop garden that we have. And we were able to have a fun project like that that's still going strong. Improve your employability. As I said before, it is a safe space where you are able to start working on something, and we encourage people to make mistakes. By the time you are employed and you've graduated and all of that, you are one step ahead of everyone else. And the mistakes that some people might be making now, you've already made them before. Learn new skills. I think I've said that enough times. You learn a lot of new skills that you might not even think that would be relevant to your field of work. You get to expand your network, which is just part of being in the Ryerson community. Everyone talks to each other and wants to connect you with the next person. It's a very welcoming space, so you're totally able to expand your network, and you're also able to learn new perspectives. And I think that that's just what the university experience is, the Ryerson experience is in a nutshell. You meet new people, you learn new perspectives, you keep an open mind, and you learn new things. So yeah, please connect with us. You can email us at zonelearning@ryerson.ca. You can follow us on Instagram at RUZoneLearning. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the open house. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you so much, Taylor, and for sticking with us a little bit over time. And for those of you who have also stayed with us, what is going to happen now is a quick reminder that everything that you had just seen today is recorded, which means that you will have access to this at the end of the month. So if there's anything that you missed, you can definitely rewatch it. Keep in mind, though, that the Q&A portion of this event has not been recorded and it will not be available for you. So if you've asked a question and received a really great response, or maybe a link to another website, please take note of it. Maybe take a picture with your phone or a screenshot, or jot it down. You still have some time to do that, so please feel free to do that right now. I also would encourage you to join us again in a couple of months. We are going to be hosting another virtual open house, and this one will be more program specific. So if you are interested in a specific program, whether it be social work or arts and contemporary studies, please feel free to join us again on the weeks of November 9th as well as November 16th. So what's going to happen right now is we will stay online for a few more minutes, because I do encourage you to ask some more questions. If you don't have any, that's okay. But what will happen is I will shut down my computer, or not my computer, my camera and my audio. But we will still be here, even though it's a little bit quiet. And I know the screen says until 4 p.m., but maybe let's give it a couple more minutes. So if you have any final questions, please feel free to ask them now. And thank you again. On behalf of Ryerson University, we thank you for joining us this week, and we hope that you are all staying safe and healthy during this time.